Good morning, guys. It is Monday morning. This is probably going to be a shorter video because you'll be seeing this Tuesday, and so Monday will be all the content you're seeing on Tuesday, if that makes sense. I'm trying to get back on my uploading schedule, which is Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. I apologize if I sound sick. I'm a little bit stuffed up. Hopefully, it goes away in the next day or so. But on the agenda today is packaging up a 6-speed swap. That would be the number one priority of today. I'll pop up a picture of the car that it came out of. It was a 2013 WRX that was STI swapped. Somebody purchased the chassis, and so I parted out the rest of it. I still have a lot of the parts that I have to list yet, but I'm packaging up the 6-speed swap today. I say 6-speed swap, it's really only the transmission, the axles, and the differential, but we got to put this on a pallet and get it packaged up. And I can't remember exactly where it's going, but I think it was a decent distance, maybe Utah or Colorado. I'm not exactly sure, but we got to get it on a pallet, wrap it up, tie it down, and then it's going to have to go in the back of my truck, and I'm going to have to drop it off, I think, probably at FedEx. They usually have the best rates. Hopefully that only takes us an hour or so, maybe a little bit more. I always am bad at estimating how long something's going to take me. Then we will be moving on to our 2017 EJ20X project. Hi, kitty. What's going on? Stupid rooster. All right, so 2017 STI EJ20X project. Last video, if you didn't see it, go check it out. I dropped the motor in. I got a few things assembled. I've got the flex fuel kit installed, all the wiring routed, downpipe is in, bolted down. We've got to install our oil pressure sensor, then we can get the AC compressor, power steering, alternator. We can get that stuff on, and then we can start moving to that side to get the AOS routed and the top mount on. And I also swapped the tinted taillights from my 2019 STI onto this one because I wanted these tinted. What? I'm trying to video. I wanted these tinted, and I wasn't just gonna buy more tint to do these when I could just use the taillights off my 2019. And that car's stock anyways, and we're selling it, so that can get the OEM look for the taillights. If you guys are watching this, I greatly appreciate it. We are slowly growing. If you guys could hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, it'd be greatly appreciated. I want you guys along for the growth journey so that we can learn together, make mistakes together, all those fun things. We also did have a check engine light pop up on this thing. It pops up and goes away on its own. It's basically for an open in a circuit, so I think it's either the plug is loose or the pins are pulling out a little bit, or we don't have a great ground. So I'll figure that one out. It sounds, from the little bit of research I did, sounds like it'll be pretty easy to fix. It's usually just a loose connector or a bad connection. This dude needs to chill out. So annoying. All right, 6-speed swap packaging. Nothing special, nothing exciting. I'll probably time lapse or jump through most of it. Maybe I'll show you how I tie it down to the pallet. Other than those little clips I might talk in between the time lapse, I'll see you after the time lapse. Coming to visit me? Yeah. So I did already work out this morning, but we potentially are going to have not another powerlifting session, a powerlifting session. I don't really powerlift, I just lift weights. But I am the only one here, and the axles and the differential are not a problem, but the transmission is pretty heavy. I think it's close to 200 pounds, but it's very awkward as well. So we might have a little lifting session trying to get this on a pallet. I was going to go pick one out, but I'm actually looking at this one sitting right here, and it might fit on there. Let me take some measurements. This guy right here, normally I do a full-size pallet, but because this doesn't have hubs and other things like suspension that typically go with a 6-speed swap, this might work. Let me go grab a tape measure and I'll figure it out. It is pretty cold this morning. 3 foot, let's see what it is diagonally, because we may have to do it that way. 4 foot diagonally. We might be able to fit this on there. It's gonna be close, but I'm gonna try because it would be pretty easy just to use this one. I might have to take the linkage off and just package that separately on the pallet, but that would be totally fine. I don't really have a great way to package these because I don't have a forklift or anything. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but I'm gonna try. Might back my truck up here, put one edge of the pallet on the truck tailgate, the other edge right on here on this beautiful box truck, and then load it up that way so I can saran wrap around it and tie it down and all that. I'm not really sure. I think I've probably done 5 of these maybe. I don't do them all the time, but I've done them enough to have a general idea of what I need to do. I use these big zip ties to tie them down. These are big zip ties. I should buy those metal bands with the clamper tool that you can like tighten it down with. I just haven't yet, and I might not. I don't really know. Gotta move my moped out of the way. This moped right here is a 50cc moped that has a 150cc motor in it. So it's kind of fun, and it's street legal. No insurance or motorcycle endorsement needed because it's a 50cc moped. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but it's pretty fun. And then the one in front of it looks identical, but is actually a 50cc moped. Yeah, those are just fun little projects I did that I like to rip around. Not right now. It's a little cold for mopeds right now. Again, I apologize if I sound sick in these videos or in these voiceovers. Hopefully I start feeling better. That should be the perfect distance. I got a low glucose notification on my blood sugar monitor. I am a type 1 diabetic, so I do have to deal with that as well. So it ended my video. What I was saying is I just backed up so that both edges are sitting on here like this, and then we can load up the transmission that way. It's actually the perfect height. My old truck actually used to sit a little bit higher, and it was kind of a weird angle, but this works out perfect. Now let's see if we can get this transmission swap on here, make it fit, and load her up, get this knocked out of the way so we can move on to the fun stuff. Like I said earlier, let's see, well, we're not going to really have to do any powerlifting because we can just slide it and lift it a little bit. Let's see if this transmission is going to fit. First of all, got these axles for the swap. If you guys find this boring, I apologize, but this is what my life currently looks like because I do run a parts business, a small parts business, but regardless, it requires me to do this kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not so sure about this fitting on here. The linkage is definitely going to have to come off, and it's going to be close. I think I can fit the axles on here, no problem. Just don't know if this pallet's going to be too small because I don't think anything can stick outside of it. Let me go take a look and see if I have a similar sized pallet that's not much bigger. I did end up switching to a different pallet. I also did lose some footage. I kept having issues with my blood sugar monitor, and it would cut my videos out when I got a notification. But as you can see, we got it tied down and wrapped up. Then I slid it into the back of my truck, pulled my truck down into the driveway. How's it going, guys? I had my phone set up on top of my box truck, so I had to jump up on the truck to get it. Then we were on to the next project. All right, we got the 6-speed swap all packaged up. Now I just got to get a label, get that on there, and I'll drop it off tomorrow. Here it is. I got to tape up this little piece. I don't really care that it's exposed. It just looks kind of weird. Kind of a lot of work packaging these up. I kind of forget, but it is what it is. I don't have fancy equipment, so gotta make do with what you got. My phone is already almost dead, so I'm gonna have to charge that. I'm gonna go in and have a little snack, charge it for a little bit, and I'll be back out working on the 17 STI. Okay, we are continuing assembly on our EJ20X STI. Next, I think I'm going to be routing the AOS before I kind of get everything plugged in and potentially put things in the way of the AOS routing. So I am going to get that mounted up, get all the lines routed, and then kind of plug some things in over there. And we're almost done on this side of the engine bay. We're pretty much done on this side also, aside from our cylinder 4 cooling mod. And then we just got the stuff in the front here and the top mount, and we're good to go. So let's get that started. If I think I'm doing anything important for you guys to see, I will stop the time lapse and record it. Otherwise, I'm going to be time lapsing and of course voicing over when I actually go to edit the video and kind of explain what I'm doing regardless. But I will see you after the time lapse. I've used these IAG air oil separators many times. If I were to recommend you one air oil separator, it would 100% be IAG's. They have great instructions on how to install it. They work super well, and everything looks really good once it's all finished. All right, we got a decent amount done. The air oil separator is completely routed. This is wiring for the gauges I have to run into the firewall, so don't mind that. I'm missing one little piece to finish the AOS routing. This hose right here, I'm missing the connector for down there, but we got our cylinder 4 cooling mod done. I didn't have any correct sized hose clamps, so I used some ones that were too big. It will work just fine. So I believe we are done back there. We're done over here, and we are done up here with the oil pressure sensor. So now we can put the components up here. I'm waiting to put the top mount on and finish up this stuff for when I get the connector for down there. We are about as far as we're going to get tonight. It is currently about 8:30, I believe. Like I said in the beginning of this video, this might just be a little bit of a shorter one, but Thursday's video should be a normal full-length video for you guys. I just explained a few more things that we have to do on this EJ20X yet. We are still waiting on the tune, and we also have to install our AEM fuel pump. If we finish all these things before we get the tune, we're just going to have to wait on the tune to start this thing up. We can get oil and coolant and all that in it. I can also start on trimming up these fenders, getting the fender flares back on. There's a lot more work to do other than just getting the motor assembled, but that's part of a project car. Tomorrow is Tuesday, and I will be editing this video, so you guys will see it that same day, Tuesday. I also have to drop off the 6-speed swap I packaged this morning at a freight shipper so we can get that out. And then my girlfriend's Crosstrek started leaking coolant again. I don't know if that's something I did or if it's another leak, so we'll figure out what that is, but I'm going to trade vehicles with her again tomorrow. So that might be in the beginning of next video. But if you guys are watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end here, I greatly appreciate it. If you could like and subscribe, it helps me out a ton. I hope you guys are getting your projects done. Hope you're doing well in life, and I'll see you guys in Thursday's video.